All right, welcome back to another live stream. My name is Jesse with Stone Cold Investors, and we got Bacon and Dan with us today. Exit Liquidity 2.0, episode 2. Here we go. How's it going, guys?
Going all right. How are you all doing?
One day.
I'm doing good. Oh man, you know what? I think my camera's messed up again.
Is it the camera or internet connection? Oh no, he's gone.
I tell you
All
what,
right, it's our stream now. Oh, he's back.
I know. You guys can just take it, and then
Jesse likes SoFi and Palantir, and he has all sorts of Ethereum and SafeMoon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, Bacon.
Yeah.
I heard you're a really big Binance fan. Is that correct?
No. This is not correct. However,
No?
just for light news and waiting for people to trickle in some silliness.
You called him your homeboy.
Yeah, I did not, but yeah, CZ of Binance fame.
You want to be Binance accountant, a CFA?
No, definitely not. But yeah. They he's pled guilty to fraud and money laundering. So basically, he has to step down. He pays some meaningful amounts of money. Some might say slap on the wrist money. I'll leave that for everyone else to figure out. Company
50
has
million,
to pay,
right?
Yeah, 50 million is what I saw.
And then the company is 5 billion.
I thought, it was around that ballpark.
Billion.
Yeah. So
you think this would be the easiest job to run a crypto exchange now? All you have to do, you take the money, you buy treasuries at 5%, and you just hold it. And you don't be a degen idiot.
Yeah, all you have to do is
that's all they have to do.
Hey guys, I'm not going to be a dirtbag.
You just have to not be an a-hole.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the timeline we're in. Where would you say that this all went down? What court case? I mean, court case, but court location.
I was watching a video on it, and they just said he pled guilty in a Seattle courthouse.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Let's go, we got him. Let's go Seattle." If I would have known that, I could have gone and stood outside and made some sign or something like that. And but
so there's the color news. There's my value that I
yeah, that was. Oh man, that's
a lot of news.
Wild.
I mean, it was either that or talks about open AI and the fun times over there with Sam Altman and the board. I think that one's just public, just because the company is structured in such a unique way, and also it is AI related, so it's got a lot of buzz. But yeah, plenty of stuff that could have made it, but didn't.
All right. Well, so I've got my video is up now. My share screen is not. I gotta figure this out. Jesus, come on. But I will say we had NVIDIA report, right? So NVIDIA reported, and one of our favorite YouTubers is shorting it NVIDIA, and that's a blast. So they what did they do? They double beat. So
I'm going after him hard at 10 o'clock. You wait.
I'll let you take him down. But so NVIDIA double beat top line, beat bottom line. Obviously it's priced super expensive still. Guidance for Q4 was 20 billion in revenue, I believe. So market kind of chopped around. I'm actually shocked that the after hours move on this was only 1.73% in either direction, right? I thought it was going to be up 20%, down 20%, something crazy, not right in the middle. That's pretty surprising, just with how much has been priced into this stock. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow, I feel like it could, run 10% either way, 10-20% either way, whatever. But I mean, even from what was it, the Arista Networks call, it seemed like they were more bullish on the runway for the tailwinds with AI and specifically the data center buildouts that they're part of. And they were saying, I think they were like, we feel really confident about the next like 2 years of demand. So I feel like we're starting to see the push for hardware demand for this kind of like AI super cycle in data centers get extended out further. And yeah, I think like, I don't know, I'm not touching NVIDIA like either way, but I would not be surprised if it had legs. You know, I own it technically. It is in the SPY at a whopping 2.9% allocation. So
let's go.
Between my SP 500 and SCHG, I probably own a few $1,000s worth of NVIDIA, maybe. But
oh, dude, an SCHG for sure. Like, because that's heavy growth. You're probably heavier NVIDIA than you realize.
No, I realize this.
Yeah,
it's not a problem. Like, you know, again, that's what
I just don't know why these people that like think let's short NVIDIA. It's like, you know, take your valuation rules and just put them aside for a second. When if you model NVIDIA, their growth is like ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. People think there's fraud involved in this company. They're growing so fast and they're so damn profitable. You don't believe it.
Yeah.
So like people like, these companies do come around. This can be real. Like, don't just think it's fake because it's so amazing. Like, you know, this can be a once in every 20-year company. Like,
I got
assume it's gonna the AI bubble could burst for all the unprofitable trash in AI. Like, oh, I don't know, C3 is laying off people right now. So, but this is an extremely profitable, huge free cash flow company. Like, calm down trying to predict when it's gonna. I disagree if you even call it a bubble. Honestly, I don't know.
I don't think this is a bubble. No. I think it's not going to be a bubble in the sense of like the late 90s were a bubble in tech stocks, because we already have like really good companies that are making decent amounts of like profit, right? It's not that speculative. It's rich though, right? And I would say that like while the bubble NVIDIA specifically, while it might not like crash to nothingness, like you got to bake in, there's going to be a decent amount of potential cyclicality in it, right? And that cyclicality could like crush you, because if we get this super cycle of data center retrofits into these kind of supercomputer AI focused systems, well, there's things that are probably several years out to maybe 5-7 years out that could potentially become really big threats to NVIDIA. Mostly once the super cycle is over, what's going to be the steady rate going forward? And then also the larger tech companies, are they going to be developing their chipsets in-house eventually? And basically be building out their own ASICs specific for the compute that they need, and cutting NVIDIA out, because that's a lot of savings, right? If you do that, you think of NVIDIA has like 75% gross margins, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy.
If you do that in-house and you have something that's equal and highly efficient and maybe even better because it's specific to the type of compute, like the very specific type of compute that you need, you can trim a lot off of your capex and opex from that. So
like the other thing that I got to add on this though is like, especially if like I think it's safe to say at least most people here on this panel, like, or you know, for panels to come, care a little about valuation, probably on like somewhere in the priority listing. That being said, though, of course, you know, we don't short on just value, because like this management team has been, to their credit, like been pretty right recently. Not even like, you know, that long ago, as far as you know, projecting top line and bottom line and being roughly in line or actually beating expectations. So that's like, I mean, yes, it's down a little bit after hours, and I think part of it was the guidance. They tried to caution the with future projections with China, and they did say that like their financials give are pretty transparent as far as like the revenue exposure, and I believe they mentioned like that 20 to 25% of their uh, their compute revenue was from China or had Chinese exposure. So I mean, like fairness to them, like to the management team, they're grown ups, at least grown up enough to say, yeah, like pumping the brakes a little bit on some of the expectations going forward, and like being transparent enough to say, hey, this is what's at stake. Everyone else can do their own digging.
Well, and even like historically, they have been very, very good at identifying specific compute niche areas that they can fill. Like, think of like crypto mining, right? It was like, I mean, they basically identify that, and then you're able to use an NVIDIA graphics card specific for that, right? So it seems like they have been pretty good at identifying new markets and the way to essentially get to that market and capitalize on that market. But yeah, I mean, it's just like it's trading rich, right? I mean, what was it? About $4 diluted earnings per share in this last Q. It's just hard to figure out like how much of a runway they have to get through this initial demand for the AI build outs. Because so right now, I mean, if they're doing like $20 a share in EPS, they're still trading at, on a forward basis, what are they at then? That's like, it's not too bad. Like a 4% yield on a forward basis.
Probably, give or take.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
They're at $520. Yeah, 4%. So, which actually isn't that bad. If you had like a stable revenue state, right? I just don't know how stable that's actually going to be. So for our friend Paul the doll, I think I would love if this thing ripped up to $1,500. I mean, like, I wouldn't give a crap. Like,
pump the S&P a little higher.
I would love for him to double up, triple up, quad up, and then just get ripped to shreds. Oh man.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I mean, the good thing is that I think the management team said any changes with China, because they have to do a licensing deal or a deal that's like subject to license requirements going forward. Like, I believe they said that the numbers will affect Q4 of of next year or somewhere around there. So that's we'll see how soon the numbers get impacted, and all the margins.
Yeah.
I'm using Yahoo Finance as a crutch.
Oh man, well, I shoot in hindsight, man. Ooh, $100, baby. That looked pretty. But even on an NTM basis, from analyst projections, it looks like it's trading about 3.47% yield on net income basis. So, I mean, we'll see if they do end up being like, the staple, the player that all of these huge companies have to go to for their AI compute needs. I mean, this could, it could last a while, for sure. Definitely, it's like one of those. Shoot, I think it was like Warren Buffett, who said he was like, I wouldn't buy Tesla, and I sure as hell wouldn't short it. You know what I mean? You're just like you can't really see the value or have a clear picture of the value over the long term, but there's no way you would actually touch it on short position. Oh my gosh. Speaking of Tesla, Dan, I hear you got some thoughts on the Cybertruck and on Tesla. You want to take it away?
Oh, the Cybertruck. Fucking, I just think it's going to be a disaster. So, we covered it last week. Yeah, just the whole production of a stainless steel flat body paneled car that needs an exoskeleton. It's just so unfeasible, I think.
Yeah.
I just tell people there's a reason cars have curved panels, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Oh yeah.
We haven't had a flat panel car since like the DeLorean or something. But
yeah,
and then there's other issues like it's going to look like shit unless they spend a lot of money milling it so that all the corners meet. And then it's like, okay, well, they could cheat and weld all the corners together. So then, right, you wouldn't see the panel gaps if you weld it and then you sand it and polish it. Well, then how are you going to repair that if it gets damaged in an accident? That you have like a welded exoskeleton. So there's just like, and then stainless, I didn't talk about this last week. Stainless steel, specifically the type, they're going to use a very high strength stainless steel, supposedly, which means it's going to be really difficult to do repair work. Because this type of metal does not bend. Like if people want to go like on YouTube, if you get a fender bender, like you can go to a collision center, they might not take your car apart. They have all these tools. They can stick little rods in all sorts of like holes in your car and they can bump it out. That's going to be really difficult with something like a Cybertruck.
Yeah, they'll have to like replace panels or something. Like they won't be able to do any of that.
Right. It's just such a disaster of a design, I think. A lot of the websites I saw that were talking positively, like one was funny. It was a stainless steel trade magazine, which like website. And they're like, this was like a year ago. They're like, they could do this. This is really exciting the way they're going to bend the metal, blah, blah. And then at the bottom, they're like, this is probably just going to be a low volume, prototype type vehicle. It should be fine. It's like Elon wants to sell like 1 million. He wants 1 million of these sold. So he's imagining this is a full production vehicle. Like, kind of lunacy, right?
At what point do you think they would start imposing design restrictions on vehicles for the safety of other people? Because I still think the Cybertruck is going to be a tank.
Yeah, I didn't even bring that up too.
Like absolutely kills basically anything it hits. Because it's like it's this huge rolling 8,000-pound stainless steel. Like
no, I thought about that.
It doesn't have any crumple zones. Like,
yeah, I didn't bring that up because I was like, man, this thing is like an indestructible vehicle. Like your vehicles, people like, I don't know if you've seen crash test footage of like older cars, like solid steel cars from like the 80s, right?
Oh yeah,
they didn't crumple. So, but you crumpled inside because that energy goes somewhere. So if your car doesn't absorb it, you are like, I don't know how a stainless steel exoskeleton car is gonna handle like I could see the drivers getting hurt, or if you hit somebody, like, you're gonna murder them. You're gonna go through them.
That's what I've been wondering this entire time, because it is so like, I mean, it's so indestructible from at least what we've seen so far that I just don't see any type of engineering when it comes to crumple zones either. Like you might be okay being in the Cybertruck, but like whatever you're hitting, I feel like you're just going to demolish it, like blow through it.
I'm just wondering because that probably will come from what the National Highway shoot. I know it's a T, and then SA being security.
NHSTA. National Highway Safety Transportation Administration, I think.
National Highway Traffic Safety. There we go. Administration.
TSA.
People think we're overreacting. Like it only takes one bad accident to make people change. Like on something like this. Like if a Cybertruck hits like a Honda Civic, holy crap. But and then like you just notice like they're wrapping them now in the prototype, in the development. They never wrapped Cybertrucks. Now, a lot of the ones you see them demoing out in the field, they wrap them in vinyl.
Yep.
So that wasn't planned. There was nothing in the prototypes that they were going to wrap these things. So why are they doing that? Because there's problems with the fingerprints on the metal, makes them look like shit. Also, the reflectiveness of them in like a bright sunny day. So there's just like, and then the windshield is the windshield wiper, the one windshield wiper is like stupid design. Like this is like a teenage. This is like, remember Homer Simpson designed a truck on The Simpsons?
Oh yeah,
maybe I'm dating. It's old episode of Simpsons. It's I swear to God, if you watch that, this is what he's doing. You let an adult child design a truck. It's crazy. Like you can go Google people like before the Cybertruck was announced, people drew prototypes of what a Tesla truck would look like. And there's some pretty cool designs. And then he just threw that all away and said, I'm going to do this ugly piece of junk. But
yeah, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see like the little caveats that we know of after like 2-3 years of them being out. Because I just think I think of like tons of rust, discoloring from the rust. Everybody's gonna they're gonna look like crap unless you wrap them long term, I feel like. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what? Can you pull up like a Chevy SSR for show people?
Sure. 1 second.
This is just an example of like a prototype, low production truck that another company made. And this is what I thought the Cybertruck was just going to be.
Wait, no, this curved weird thing.
Well, this was just like a concept vehicle. Chevy just brought out low production. This is what I thought Cybertrucks are going to be, but it's got it has it has a Corvette engine in it, if I remember, or Camaro engine.
Is that it?
I don't see anything on the screen. Wait.
The anti-Cybertruck.
Yeah, it's funny though, is they brought this out and it was pretty badass at the time. I drove one because you had the truck bed and it was fast as hell too. They stuck a Corvette engine in a El Camino.
Oh my gosh. It was was it their response to like the F-150 Raptor or something like that?
I think they just made it as a prototype and then they did a low production run of it for like 3 years. So like you can make cool cars like the Cybertruck. That's what I was trying to explain. Like car companies have made interesting prototype cool cars like this. Just nobody's ever come out and said they're going to scale it to what Elon is saying, make hundreds of thousands of Cybertrucks. It just makes no sense. If you told me it was like a 50,000 a year limited production, okay. But that's not what Elon does. So
yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens when they get to scale. I feel like the volume on that is going to be pretty bad, though.
I mean, for the money they're spending to develop this thing, they could probably just buy Rivian. I'm like,
yeah,
like this is because they've had to there's the production process for the Cybertruck because there's no vehicle that exists like this. So they've had to spend, I'm sure, a fortune developing the stamping technology with the stainless, the exoskeleton, the soundproofing, all these things that no other the bulletproof glass crap, and it's just
I'm just trying to imagine like why would that necessarily be a selling point? Is that really a selling point for possible truck owners?
Bulletproof glass.
Bulletproof glass, yeah.
I mean, depends on where you're.
I mean, maybe like you got people that drive Ford Raptors, right? Nobody needs an off. Like I'm in the suburbs seeing Ford Raptors, which is an off-roading truck. But
yeah,
are you telling me all those people are going to buy a Cybertruck? Like, I don't know. Ford Raptors, they're pretty.
Like when you see the huge lifted trucks with like the huge rims that have barely like any sidewall and tires, and they got like underglow or something like that, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Like all utility goes out the door. Like that's absolutely like useless. Oh my gosh. I will say, like, I like their vehicles though. I do. Like
I think they would have been better just working on updating what they have. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they could have made a really cool truck and not gone as drastic. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they like maybe they roll out the Cybertruck for a couple of years and then they're like, "Oh, we're going to do something else. Never mind."
And see, like for me though, it's more of a like, hey, bulletproof glass. Like, what are you trying to do? Appeal to like the non-thinking zombie survivalist cosplayers or like role players? Like,
it's like all like electric vehicles are all about weight, right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Weight is
Yeah,
the
it's
most
heavy.
the biggest problem with EVs.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
heavier the
battery weight
better,
car weight.
right?
Everything's supposed to be lighter. That's why they have the batteries part of the frame on Tesla cars. So they like underneath, like there's rigid. Like, that was how they saved weight. And now you're making a stainless steel EV. Like what the hell? Like we're going the opposite way you should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
why I liked Ford making an electric truck originally when I invested was they have aluminum body, or they were the first truck company to do aluminum frame trucks. It's not all aluminum, so they have steel where they need to, and then where they don't need it, it's aluminum. And they had to develop special like welding techniques. So I thought they had a competitive advantage coming into the new, lower carbon world.
Yeah.
But this is like totally the opposite direction of that.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. They are kind of like
Jesse wants one. I see this.
It's kind of cool, but then it's also just so stupid at the same time. Like it feels so close to being something really good, but then it's not.
I have some pictures at not, artistically photographer angles. It looks terrible. Like these are like all the best angles of it.
Oh, I know.
Some of the angles where they look at, you're like, oh, like looking at it head on with that perfectly straight like windshield looks weird as hell. But
yeah, no, it totally does. And it's funny, like their last earnings call, man. It was like he was almost like very, very negative on the Cybertruck production. And basically like being like, yeah, it's probably not gonna like ever be profitable. That's kind of like what I took away from it. Like this is really, really hard, guys. And like just to get the first couple of vehicles profitable was crazy and blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, so like then why did you like bite off this stupid vehicle that apparently isn't probably gonna make you that much money? I don't know, like and you think that they would like with their gigapresses and whatnot, they would have been able to like gain a lot of efficiencies and pretty much lower cost production if they were able to use those gigapresses in some type of a truck format. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh look, Andrew and Strongman in the house.
Yep.
What's up, guys? And yes, Strongman, just buy the Tesla. I'll do that right after I go short NVIDIA. All right.
Oh no.
You buy the Cybertruck, you back up Brinks truck.
My friend in a family office says it's a really good idea.
Oh dear God.
So what do you think about Tesla? I guess what's the new spiel? They're gonna make a $25,000 electric vehicle. Is that the new thing they're talking about?
I mean, that's been the spiel. Like the Model 3 was supposed to be that, right?
Right.
And then like just cost efficiencies weren't there yet. So now I think it's like the Model 2 is supposed to be the $25,000 vehicle. But I don't know.
If I had to guess, robots is the next story that they're gonna pump.
I think robots.
He's already pumping that.
Yeah.
He already started pumping that last quarter. They were talking about robots and like, oh man, the TAM is huge. It's just like, come on, man. Like,
so the idea they're going to make a watered down Tesla at 25 grand. It's probably going to only have like 150-mile range, right? Maybe it has one electric motor.
I think what they'll do,
it's going to be so pathetic.
It's going to be like the Model 3 and the Model Y had a baby, but it's going to be like a smaller thing. It's going to be like a Model 3 compressed with like a hatch, and it's going to like, so it's going to be like a miniature Model Y or something like that. And it'll probably be like less power, more efficiency, and maybe like a 200-mile range. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, question. Have you ever seen a smart car?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You have them up there.
Oh yeah.
It'll be just that, a little bigger than that.
I mean, like,
I literally picked
like,
one of those up at work. Some dude bet me I couldn't. I picked his smart car up and moved it. It was so friggin' light.
Very nice.
Well, the back, obviously, not the front, but
Dan's actually strongman. Strongman's just an imposter. Dan is strongman. He's like, oh, tiny car.
I actually have like I love questions that are silly and have no right answer. So here's one for everyone to include the chat. What would be a worse way to die? Being shot and killed from a drive-by conducted by a Prius or a smart car?
What?
So random.
It is. It was one of those things that I thought about while I was like on post.
By the Binance guy.
Oh no. Most of my hate's been about Cybertruck, and maybe I'll get on FSD at some point. I'll save my hate for another Tesla video.
Roast VT. In time. Time will come.
It's so funny though to watch like the FS. So yeah, they're talking. They want to get excited about robots when he'll move on from Cybertruck and he'll start talking about robots and FSD. And I keep saying FSD will never happen. Not the way people think, where a car will be there without a driver. I don't see it.
Yeah. Well, and so
they won't make money. Even if it happens, it'll only be prototyping. They will never make revenue from this. Yeah. Not the way they're telling you.
We're continuing to see those margins normalize, right? And that was something that like I kept on talking about, is that even as they reduce their costs, if they really want to get the volume scale that they want, they've got to reduce their costs a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's going to compress their margins a lot. So like their margins peaked out at like what 29, almost 30% gross, and now they're down to 17% gross, 18% gross. And their bottom line margins went from 20 to like 8. So like it's I
know he was the luxury car brand, EV brand. Yeah. He's seeded that. Like I already looked at the sales last like 2 weeks ago. The luxury brands are already taking all the like Mercedes and BMW and Audi are already and Porsche are already taking the luxury EV space. So he's basically seeded that. Now he's like, I don't know what he's doing. Now he's like competing with Hyundai. Like that's who he's competing with now. Like Hyundai. That's what you've done with Tesla. Like you had a Plaid S, really cool car, and now you're fighting Hyundai for market share at $30,000 cars.
Robot Stan. They're going to be competing with General Dynamics.
Like if the idea was to do subscriptions on like FSD, at least I could understand that.
No, same here.
Volume cars out is all that matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
More cars, I think that is the subscription. That's the only way I can see what he's doing makes sense.
I mean, that is kind of their plan, though. Like, I think there's going to be like a FSD offering where it's like the hardware is always included, and then it's like 100 or 200 a month for FSD.
Is it too late to try and revive the taxi idea? The
taxis?
Yeah, robo taxi.
So like
You want to talk about the cruise event?
So I mean, I'll give my 2 cents. Like, what is the Google robotaxi?
Waymo.
Waymo. Okay.
Yeah.
So like Waymo has like way more autonomous miles driven. It's way more restricted. They have like way more redundant hardware, and like I believe robo taxis will be a thing eventually. I do not believe it's going to be in the form of any current Tesla vehicle, because they aren't going to have the type of redundancy needed, like cross systems, in order to operate as a full robo taxi. There's going to be a lot of regulation, most likely, where you have to have like redundant like braking systems, steering systems, all this type of stuff. And that, like, right now their vehicles are just like cars, right? They don't really they don't have backup braking or like backup steering or like a lot of these features that are required for a lot of these autonomous vehicles.
So you're envisioning specific robo cars for specific tasks, like driving you from the airport or a convention.
Yeah, and I think they're probably going to have to be it's probably going to have to be mapped out to where they have like their own regions, right? Like it's going to be like it's going to be like, okay, this one's going to be in the metropolitan area of Seattle, and this is its boundaries, and like the information that they mapped out in those areas is like extremely accurate. And then also the autonomous vehicles can like adapt quickly. I don't know. I think there's just going to be not that it's a technical, like that they won't be able to do it from a technology standpoint, but that the regulations will be like too strict, and it won't allow them to do it in their current form.
That's what I don't doubt the technology. I'm more doubt the policy side of this from the government.
Yeah.
You are not convincing 50 state Department of Motor Vehicles to allow this. I don't think in my lifetime. And look at what happened with the cruise, the cruise cars in San Francisco.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
One hit one person, and it dragged the person 20 feet.
Yep.
They shut the whole thing down. And that's what I've kind of been saying too. Like one incident, because the public's not on board with this. They're just not. You can see in the surveys, one incident will scrub all of this robo taxi stuff. Anywhere in the country. I don't care how liberal the city is, you put these automatic vehicles out there, one incident hits or kills somebody, the whole thing's gone. And now, like, the cruise is still going to be in San Francisco, but they now have to have a person in the driver's seat at all times. So that's not robo. It's just a person with auto assist driving. So that's my thing. It's never going to scale beyond that issue. I don't think people are ever going to accept it. Like, think about who's making policy. People my age, right? Yeah, millennials. Yep. We're going to be, and we are not on board with this stuff. I doubt it.
We just got to wait until the Tesla bulls are in office.
When I'm dead, maybe. But this is just ridiculous. Like, I just don't see why this is necessary. Yeah. Like specific tasks, like you talking about, Jesse, fine, but if you're buying Tesla thinking this is going to be a money-making machine for you, I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah.
And you can see, go on YouTube, like go look at Tesla FSD failures, or even people that are pro Tesla, watch their videos of them driving FSD unedited. That's the problem. They edit out some of them maybe what you can watch it live, so they don't have time to edit it. But you'll see it, like the car will come up to an intersection and it'll just like turn right. And start heading into the fucking sidewalk. And you're like, the people are joking, and then this is great. And then they're like, oh my God, I almost died. And they're laughing. I'm like, you people are you're so captivated by the technology. You just, oh yeah, it does this all the time. It's not a big deal.
I was like, okay, all right, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah. I think if anything does get approved on a wide scale, it's going to be something that like, yeah, it's got like 3 different types of like vision or camera systems. Like Waymo uses LiDAR cameras and radar. They've got, I think it's dual steering, dual braking, like all of their systems are redundant. And even then you're talking about like, that's a lot to ask for from a regulatory standpoint.
And then how many people have to be on the back end?
I don't know.
How much manpower are you saving? Like Waymo, I think said or Cruise, there like 3 or 4 people operate like these vehicles like on the back end. So it's like you're not even saving manpower with these things.
The real fix
taking their jobs
is probably just better public transit, right? Because
honestly,
better.
Because like if you're shoving 1,000 of these vehicles or whatever in a city, right? Like how about, you know, like a light rail system or something like that can take I think I saw a Seattle newspaper or something like that where it's like one light rail can replace like 1,000 vehicles or something like that. Like one light rail train, like I think it's 4 or 5 train light rail systems or whatever can replace like 1,000 vehicles. So it's like, even if it works, right, it's more for like convenience and because you don't want to drive around. But it's not really going to help like traffic congestion or anything like that. In some cases, it just makes it worse because it like reroutes and like it might not know construction updates correctly. And then, yeah, you're just screwed.
I should find this video. There was a news reporter in some city. She got in one of these things to test it for her local cute news story. So she tells it where she wants to go. The car just goes a totally different direction than where she told it to. And
what?
It like got lost and then it just stopped like in the middle of this random neighborhood and said, "You're at your destination." So she sat there for like 3 hours talking to the company and she couldn't figure out how to get to where she wanted to go. Crazy. And then they sent another car and that one didn't even get her where she wanted to go.
What if it was just some guy on the back end being like, check this out, I'm going to send her here?
No, how do you know it's not just some guy typing where to go? Like,
no,
and they're saying it's FSD. It's just some guy in the back.
Guy with a remote control. Oh no, I hope eventually it works out. I do, because I think it would be really nice to like, I don't know, in like elderly age or something like that, just like summon a car and jump in it and be driven, 30 miles or wherever you need to go. That'd be really convenient. I guess you could just use Uber, but like, meh, I don't know. It's probably going to be a lot cheaper if they can automate everything. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe in a decade or so.
Yeah. Just remember, you'd still have to tip your robo taxis, people.
That's right.
How would you do that?
Oh, maybe robo taxi doesn't work out, but the robot learns to drive. So they've got the Tesla with the Optimus Prime robot in it driving people.
Oh god.
There we go.
I mean, honestly,
new bullish thesis. Everybody's gonna need a Tesla and a Optimus, whatever.
Oh my god.
Think of the TAM, everyone.
The 10 trillion TAM. Oh man. All right. So last topic, we got energy. Dan, did you want to talk about Exxon? Was it Exxon or was it another one?
No, it's Exxon. So
let's do it.
So Exxon is gonna start lithium production in the US by 2027 now.
Okay.
So they are going to, where is it? I think it's Alabama. Yeah, or Arkansas. They're going to start drilling their first lithium well in Arkansas and they aim to be a leading supplier of EVs by 2030. So I saw this like a week ago, and I think I talked to Bacon about this because I'm like, I had originally thought about investing in hydrogen like a year or so ago.
Yep.
And I kind of, the more I looked at the hydrogen companies, I'm just like why invest in this? Why not just understand that Exxon and Chevron and ConocoPhillips are not oil companies? Think of them as energy companies. So, right, these are companies that produce energy. Just so happens most of it's been oil and natural gas, but these companies who some people honestly think they're going to die. And I'm like, companies are living, breathing organizations. They adapt. Like they're not unaware of what's happening in the world. So I can fully see Exxon and Chevron and them start to develop their own battery energy supplies. And honestly, hydrogen also. There's no reason they couldn't get in more into hydrogen production. Instead of speculating on like a company that only produces hydrogen, like some pretty crappy ones out there.
I'm still not sold on hydrogen. No, I'm not sold on hydrogen vehicles.
I honestly,
I feel
like for you and me, I don't think it makes sense for a vehicle like you would drive to work, like running on hydrogen, because it just it's too small a car. They have to height or super cool it to a liquid state. The batteries are going to get better. I don't think they're hopeless. But,
and
but
then
this makes
even
sense on like higher, like let's say the train you're talking about for mass transit. Trains, you have volume's not so much an issue, but being green is more important for a train. So the like hydrogen potentially for them.
I can see that. Yeah.
So these are like, it's just interesting. Like I don't think I'd want to invest in a hydrogen producing company at this point. And honestly, this week, or was it last week, the hydrogen companies kind of got slammed. I noticed some of them noting supply issues. There was a Plug Power and Air Products and Chemicals. So
good old Plug.
Just an interesting development though, because to some degree we have never really tapped lithium mining in the United States. There's just that one SPAC. What the hell is it called? MP, right?
I think so.
It's one mine though. That's all that company is. It's one mine. So there's other resources of lithium in the US. So and you can look at the charts. Lithium production demands are going to just ramp up incredibly. The next 10 years. We don't have enough production for the goals that they have for green technology. So this isn't like could be a whole new avenue. I mean, Exxon has the capital to make this all happen. So, and they also have like carbon capture technology, which I don't think it's for profit. Like carbon capture is more for like a credit, I think, for the business. So they could say they're carbon neutral or something. For instance, you could maybe sell those carbon credits to another business. I'm not talking about carbon tax here. This doesn't have anything to do with the government. But so I thought this kind of blew me away when this happened. It's a really interesting development. So I'm starting to think like, oh, these are energy companies. I'm not even going to call them oil companies anymore.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's plenty fair.
I think like BP has kind of been pitching that for several years now, though. Like they have a whole like green energy like segment, if I remember correctly. I haven't looked too much into it, but like I remember looking at them like a while ago, years ago, and I'm pretty sure they have like an entire segment that's dedicated to like emerging clean technology.
You guys think that this will work long run or not?
What will work?
The drilling for lithium that like that this is a good business pivot or something to include under their umbrella as opposed to say pointless empire building. Because like I think this will work, but that being said though, I also want to like pump any sort of like expectations.
I mean, they have the cash flow to do a lot of capex, right? And they've been buying shares back. I don't think Exxon's pumped the dividend as much as Chevron. Chevron's really pumped their dividend.
Oh yeah.
Exxon, I believe, has been more about share buyback. So they could turn that down. But
Because I believe, like with the article that was displayed, which I also have up, is that they're drilling. So, like for example, for the lithium triangle, which is over in that area between Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia. Uh, they yes, they also do drill, but they also like smaller players can kind of like take the lithium salts and like just supply water, let the water evaporate, and you're practically ready to take the lithium away. And of course, they're still going to use water with the Arkansas location, I believe, for Exxon. Um, yeah, I just think like it's fun to think about the details and how they might manifest as far as like costs and everything going forward.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like, I mean, I think most of the demand projection right now is just from like uh, EV vehicles, right?
Mhm.
Electric vehicles. But it will be very interesting to see um, what type of battery technology we eventually land on,
Yeah.
because it's going to be like there's going to be certain that might not be as lithium intensive. I was actually going to ask you, Dan, if you knew anything about some of the solid state batteries that Toyota's are working on, if they have like the same lithium requirements or not. But like conceptually, I think there's going to be like this there's going to be like this balance of like, even if you find a better like battery chemistry, like it still has to be a chemistry where the demands for the elements can be met, right?
Yeah.
So it might be a self-fulfilling thing where if we start mining lithium at a rate where lithium is available at a decent price, um, that we self-fulfill that prophecy of just kind of sticking to like lithium-based battery technology because it's readily available.
My understanding is the solid state batteries Toyota's looking at do have more lithium in them, but then they'll say it's better for the environment because they will last longer, theoretic, like they have a longer lifespan and they get more miles per charge. And then so if you're being more efficient with the electricity, you'd say it's better for the environment, I
Gotcha.
guess. So
like
the other solid state batteries I've seen like is like a salt based one, which it's not like new. It's something it's been around.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they're probably looking at like probably energy capacity, like kilowatt hours per lithium whatever unit, right? To come up with that. Like how many kilowatt hours of capacity they can get out of a certain amount of lithium.
Like
Yeah.
you could have a crappier, less long living, not as great sodium battery in one car, and then in maybe a nicer application you could have a better lithium solid state battery. Maybe that's a solution. Get you to a $20,000 car, and then on the other side, something top of the line. But if anyone out there is telling you they know exactly how this is going to all work out, like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is we're in like this is like the time between DVDs and clouds or streaming services. We don't know who's going to win. Like
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray. No, that's a good point, McBooty. Lithium is basically used to store the energy. Solid state batteries use a different medium inside the battery.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
McBuda loves carbon capture. It's his favorite topic. He thinks it's going to
really?
100x the world.
No.
Carbon
I'm really
capture
bullish
companies.
on carbon capture. Really bullish. It's going to save the world. We're going to be
He's
fine.
choking me through the stream right now.
Yeah.
He's like, no, Jesse, it's a fraud.
I showed him
Oh my
one carbon
gosh.
capture company in Sweden. I think it was Sweden or something, and he was like,
Oh,
"They're
there you
terrible.
go.
It's unprofitable crap."
Plants are great. I
Oh,
do have a
cap!
lot.
I'm wearing your cap here.
I have a
Cap.
lot of trees, so I'm big into the carbon capture game. Oh man.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else energy related. I mean,
the hydrogen companies got smacked last week, which
it will be interesting.
What are some of those?
Like Plug Power is the one up here.
I thought Plug wasn't Plug like a charging station or something, like, or maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
No, they're hydrogen. For me, I'm thinking that if this does grow eventually into where they're no longer just oil but rather energy, like you said, Dan, at some point the market will probably have to come to reckon with this, and market participants, because like the historical like saying has been like with energy companies or oil companies is, oh, just take a look at the price of oil futures, and you can pretty much copy paste it, and voila, you have your energy or oil stocks price movement. I wonder when that might not be the case, if that is, if and when, but I don't know. Then again, like you said, we're in that era between DVDs and streaming. So it's,
they always say, like, if you could hold one stock like to give to your grandkids, probably be some Exxon would be on the list for me if I had to pick a few, because I think they'll adapt to whatever energy needs the world needs. I mean,
I would be like VOO.
The idea is creeping back, because it isn't necessarily like a utility company, because it would be the supplier too. Eventually at some point.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're more. They'd be more like the producer, right? Or
yeah, as opposed to like the distributor,
the commodity producer, right?
Yeah.
So rather than the provider or the last mile. The last mile essentially would be the utility or the different forms of vehicles or machining that actually uses the energy.
Just thoughts that I have. Comment section prior to like pulling their hair out over me being dumb, but
that's kind of one I always wish I never bought Exxon or Chevron all my years. I'm like, man, I don't know why. I never had anything bad against oil. I just never did, I guess. But I have only a few now. I have like drilling.
2020 was the year to do it.
Oh my god.
I had small fringe.
They got just smoked.
But
when everyone was at home, no one's driving cars, right?
Oh yeah.
Why did we not
oil futures go negative?
All your money into oil, like at the point.
They haven't really actually performed that well, honestly. Like, they've had a pretty rough go.
Oh yeah, no, they definitely have, like, especially if we go like moments. Yeah, definitely rough moments easily. But yeah, just things I think about. Then again, maybe the market is really efficient, and they already know that these aren't just oil companies; they're energy companies, and I've been wrong all along. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
But there's other talk, like people should look. There's been more increased chatter about nuclear power again.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Man, that is a total different subject, but
yeah.
So I was actually thinking. I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, one of the biggest bearish cases for solar energy is that the stigma around nuclear drops off, and we get confidence in stable nuclear energy, and like energy just becomes super cheap, and nobody even wants to deal with like solar.
No, don't talk about Enphase like that.
Well, I mean, like New Jersey canned an entire windmill project, ocean windmill, because the cost overruns got crazy.
Oh, really?
So
dang.
Yeah, like, so this whole rosy picture we're creating about green energy, it's like, I mean, yeah, nuclear power seems more appealing now. Like,
yeah, the lines.
I mean, I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised because it's been really politically driven, but the type of like improvements that we've made with nuclear power and being able to produce stable power from nuclear and like with low levels, relatively speaking to like previous nuclear plants. I don't know. I feel like it's only a matter of time when our energy production or not production, when our energy demand gets to a certain point and we see enough backlash, I feel like nuclear is going to be one of those things that just kind of comes back. Yeah. But
I just hope that we adopt like many countries and peoples adopt policies that make sense, because I don't think this is necessarily like a one size fits all thing. Like for example, nuclear power plant. I know like they go through or should go through huge amount of like inspections. You know, regulators are like everywhere and so on and so forth. But that being said, though, like should nuclear reactors be built on, say, active fault lines or near, you know, active volcanoes? Maybe not.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I've as time has gone by, I've been questioning, you know, silver bullet, one size fits all, but one size fits most, maybe.
Oh, McBuda brought up the small modular reactors.
Yeah, that I'm interested in.
Like that's an interesting investment idea.
Yeah.
But like if people got on board with nuclear again.
Yeah.
Big if.
These smaller, more advanced nuclear reactors. So
yeah.
There's a documentary or like I don't know if it's documentary or if it's just a like hour and a half show. I think it's on Netflix, and it talks about, or it goes over, I think it's Bill Gates, the nuclear stuff that he's been working on, or that his foundation's been working on the last like 5-6 years. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. They basically made, well, it looks like they made like a nuclear plant that's like way more stable and doesn't require nearly as much uranium. So like I think he said that like with just the nuclear waste that's buried in the US, they could run the US for like 200 years.
Well,
and I was like,
well, Bill,
shoot.
Makes me wonder what you're doing with farmland.
But they can't get any type of regulatory approval to do any type of like testing or anything like that in the US, or like stand them up anywhere in the US. So then they're like resorting to trying to like take it to China or other places that are more like desperate for energy, just so they can get like like more, I don't know, hours of operation and testing and like a more legit space. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Good old Bill.
Billy boy.
Yeah. It's always out there.
All right. Let's see. Do we have any more questions in the comments? Hit us up real quick if you have anything. But if not, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. You guys excited for Thanksgiving? Got any good turkey plans?
I got a text from my sister. Turns out that they're still in the middle of raking leaves, and I get to help.
Yay!
So
it's actually snowing right now outside.
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
Freezing rain, snow.
How many inches?
I've got Thanksgiving Wednesday and Thursday. I've got a breakfast Thanksgiving, and then I've got a work Thanksgiving on Friday.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I've got a family Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna weigh like 500 pounds Saturday.
Yeah, and then I have another Thanksgiving on Saturday, so I'm doing Thursday, Saturday Thanksgiving. Got the turkey thawing right now. I'm gonna smoke it again this year. So got some cherry pellets ready to go.
I brined a turkey last year. Best turkey I've ever had.
Oh yeah, very nice.
It takes 3 days. Do like it's a 3-day process, but you could smoke it or infrared cook it or whatever at the end.
So I like dry brine them usually, and then I'll rub it with garlic powder and pepper, and then I'll do a butter garlic herb injection, and it's like very
That's
nice.
a dirty bird right there.
It's a dirty bird. It's so good,
actually, McBuda T asked for tips on Black Friday. Any Black Friday plans for you all? I figure it's so close with Thanksgiving, might as well ask it.
Don't
go outside.
I'm working. I used to go out with my brother, and we would just, so when we were younger, we would just go around on Black Friday and just walk around and just enjoy the madness of people running around fighting for $300 televisions and stuff.
Yeah. So I guess
I'm just walking around. I'm like, hey, what's going on? These people are like, give me it.
I think some stores are starting to do their Black Friday deals like early. I think like Costco does it for like a week, so you can go in and just get whatever. They might have deals like on the actual day, but I don't know if it's worth it. I also
companies have like closed now on Thanksgiving. A lot of them. Which thank God.
Yep.
Like,
which is good.
I had a family member leave one year at like 7 o'clock on Thursday to go get some fucking thing on sale, and we're like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing?
It's a Thanksgiving tradition. Watch the Lions lose. Come on.
Yeah.
Walmart at 11 p.m. to see the violence.
Because I've only done Black Friday once, and it was just like how you said, like the pre-Black Friday, like as opposed to like say midnight. It was more like like we just have like restricted lanes where you could like just walk along. And I was like, this is nice and chill. Like I haven't been shamed. I haven't been like pushed or anything like that. I was like,
I will
leisurely stroll.
I'll second what Gus said.
Same here. Gus,
Cyber Monday. That's usually when I do all my stuff. Like the comfort of my home on my laptop, with my crappy internet. So the orders don't go through all the time. No, I'm kidding. But but yeah, Cyber Monday is usually what I wait for, and then there's some certain large online retailers that certain people are bullish on that usually have good Cyber Monday deals. So, oh man. But yeah.
There we go.
Cool. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for jumping on and hanging out with us. And we will see you. Actually, sorry, we will not see you next week. I'm going to be out of town.
Oh, yeah.
And I am going to be going to probably, I think, the Pac-12 championships. So I will be traveling. But yeah. So have a good Thanksgiving. Have a good holiday, guys. And we'll catch you later.
Happy Thanksgiving, all. Thanks, you all, for coming.